Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry. America down and down and down now. Big Joe, the greatest world champion that we have today, the current world champion today. He's better than Gunther. He's better than Cody. He's better than John Moxley. Is there anybody else that what about Japan? Forget about Japan. Joe Hendry sits over them. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling. It's time for your TNA Impact Live. TNA was live last night. Holy moly. 20th of February 2025. And we began with a Joe Hendry Encore Championship concert. And you know what? I thought this was very good. I thought this was good. Joe Hendry, he sings a song. He's like, Joe Hendry was a surprise. Sheamus couldn't believe his eyes. My favorite moment was beating The Miz. You have to be hard. You have to be hard. Anyway, you have to be hard. No, it's hard to be humble when you're in the Royal Rumble. And I would have won it if not for Roman Reigns. And it was just, honestly, me humming it, me singing it, me talking about it. It can't do it justice. Joe Hendry has got, I was going to say it factor, right? He's in TNA. Now, his clip's got like over 300,000 views, right? The trigger needs to be pulled on this guy, right? He's a TNA world champion. But see his cameo in the Rumble, it's fucking disgraceful. Now, you could say, well, Roman Reigns eliminated him, so that made him look quite strong in defeat. No, this guy needs to get pushed because he's over, the concerts are over, and actually give him fucking time. You know what I mean? Look how shite WWE is, and boring it is, and predictable it is. You know, the promos. My name is Gunther, the nipples. Give Joe Hendry 20 minutes to start a Netflix on Raw fucking concert, man. Give me it. But no. Anyway, things took a turn for the worse because the Cologne brothers came out. The chants were chanting, where's Carlito? Which I thought was pretty funny. Then the lights go off, and then Elijah appears and he makes his debut. So it's like, damn. The Cologne's out of nowhere. Elijah out of nowhere. Unpredictability is when wrestling's at its best. And Santino then books Joe Hendry and Elijah against the Colognes. So walk with Elijah. And it was pretty good. That's because obviously Elijah sings and hums and does all that, the guitar. So is Joe Hendry. I tell you what, this is one of the best openings to a wrestling show I've seen in quite some time. But then we cut backstage and we drastically fall for the earth because with Leon Slater cutting a promo next. Then it's the Colognes, and I don't care for the Colognes, I'll be honest. But here, at least the Colognes has some form of name value, I'll say that. We then had Tyson Dupoint first and Tyreek Egwe and taking on Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel. Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel pick up the victory. We then saw Wesley getting on the mic and he suggests the Rascals and Ace Austin face the three of them at Sacrifice. So, while that go down, we're seeing a lot of NXT influence floating about these days. We're then introduced to First Class and we're introduced to Noel Foley. I don't remember like around the time that Mick Foley was GM of Raw for 2016, early 17. He was she seemed to be all over social media, WWE, and then for whatever reason she just absolutely nosedived. I don't know if there was some form of scandal or she simply just disappeared or whatever, but yeah, kind of weird how she literally just vanished from the earth straight after that, to be honest. But AJ then says that Roddy doesn't get the credit he deserves for Hulkamania. He doesn't get the credit he deserves for Hendry Mania. Alright, who knows here? And AJ Francis then arrives. Yo, Roddy Piper. I like Roddy Piper. You know what? But I think he's overrated. See this fucking let's give Roddy Piper all the credit for Hulkamania? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? Come on. I know he main event at the first Mania with Hogan, but we need to reel it in. We then have Rosemary against Leah Ying Lee. I don't know how to pronounce it. So Li Ying Li defeats Rosemary by pinfall, hits the Thunderstruck. 1, 2, 3. Rosemary after the match sprays mist on her face and the referees took her to the back. We then had a Sammy Callahan vignette and he says where Mance and Steph are going to find him. He walks backstage and then gets in a brawl. Brilliant. Eric Young comes out. Just the same old pish, isn't it? You know what I mean? Oh, I'm TNA. I'm this guy. He then he gets confronted here. You've got just a bunch of jobbers. This business isn't black and white. It's blood red. Well, how about fucking TNA's brown shite, huh? You ever think about that? We then have Santana. He's at an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I thought this was pretty entertaining for the most part. Mustafa Ali comes in and says that every single person here is an inspiration. He said, even though this addiction made them do terrible things, one step at a time, we can fix it. So, you know what? Some pretty edgy stuff here. An Alcoholics Anonymous group. Right, again, it's not exactly Christopher Moltisanti in The Sopranos, but I still thought it was decent. We then saw a recap of what Moose did on NXT. Not going to sit here and pretend it was great, but it was alright. We then have GDC taking on Leon Slater in a no disqualification match. What did we make of this? I don't really care for it. JDC defeats Leon Slater. I thought it was a bit flat. I don't really care for any of these guys. JDC wins, brilliant. The system then came out, batter Leon Slater. This one business picked up because then you had like the fans chanting for Obafemi. They came out. Hardys came out. It's good seeing the Hardys. The fans then chant NXT. It's announced that Femi and the Hardys will take on the system on next week's show. So, yeah, good for TNA, but TNA getting an NXT chant on TNA, I don't know, that doesn't really do it for me. I think that's fucking weird. Santino then cuts off Tessa Blanchard, so who knows how this is going to do. He then says if she doesn't wrestle next week, she's fired. You see her getting fired. We have Masha Slamovich defeating Mila Moore by pinfall. Then the show returns. We've got Santino and Orana Grace backstage. They announced Cora Jade versus Masha Slamovich for the TNA Knockouts Championship at Sacrifice. They announced Spitfire versus Hash and Ever by Elegance for TNA Knockouts Championship titles, tag titles, boom. And a special congé stipulation. Oui. Main event time. Ryan there, because he's like, oh, my big brother's returning in 22 days. At Sacrifice. This just came across as fucking crap. But then it's main event time. Joe Hendry comes out to a massive fucking pop. Joe Hendry and Elijah win. Good match. Good moment. I love Joe Hendry, I'll be honest, man. Joe Hendry's the man. Decent show. 3 out of 10.